Well, this just in, an actor from It Ends With Us is speaking out and now is revealing that Blake Lively is lying. Man, why did this take so long?
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal.
What's up? We're back at it with another conversation about Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. Let me tell you something, guys. This is very interesting, and this could be very bad for Blake Lively because now we have somebody, an actor from the movie It Ends With Us, speaking out against Blake Lively. They are actually saying that she is indeed lying. Now, really, let's talk about this really quick. Of course, we already knew. We've all been getting some semblance, some idea that she has not been telling the full truth and nothing but the truth, okay, within her lawsuit. But what's interesting is that this actor is the one that's actually being named in the lawsuit as well. Let me explain. His name is Adam Mondschein, and hopefully I'm saying his last name correctly, but he was the actual doctor that's helping deliver the baby that Blake Lively's character actually gives birth, okay? She delivers a baby in the movie, and this particular actor is the one who is acting as the doctor, helping her be, being the OBGYN, helping deliver the baby. She makes claims in her lawsuit basically saying that, of course, Justin Baldoni brought in this guy, Adam, and it was a very odd and awkward scene. He made it very uncomfortable. He wanted her to be in her birthday suit. She did not want to be in her birthday suit and all this stuff. And then, of course, how this particular actor, Adam Mondschein, was not someone she knew, and that she did not know that this guy was going to be between her legs and all that stuff. And that she was very uncomfortable throughout the entire time filming that scene. And of course, all the other stuff that she did, in the movie. Okay. Now, what's very, very interesting about this is that this actor is now sitting here saying this is all lies. She's not telling the truth. Okay. Especially when it comes to that scene that he was a part of. So let's take a look at this article. And I think this is very fascinating because, again, they could use, if he is not a witness, okay, to come in and testify, I don't know what, I feel like we'd all be losing our minds right now, because let's be real, this particular person saw what was going on the set and is seeing it in a completely different light because nobody else is really speaking out. Let's not forget that. No one else from the set is speaking out. You got the other love interest. I forgot his name, but I think his name is Brandon or something like that. Brandon, whatever. Anyway, he is out here speaking out but he's not really speaking out. He's just, straddling the fence, trying to be as diplomatic as possible and trying to distance himself from the situation, because I get it. He's got other movies and other things he's got that he's focused on, and he's trying to build his own career, and he doesn't want to be thrown into the mix of all this debacle. But at the same time, no one else outside of Brendan has been speaking out, or the love interest has been speaking out, right? It's been very interesting. Okay, Jenny Slate, nothing, right? We've just heard nothing from nobody. So we are finally hearing something from somebody. And this is what it says here. Actor Adam Mondschein, again, apologies if I'm destroying his name, who appeared alongside Blake Lively in It Ends With Us, claims the movie star mischaracterized their scene together in the bombshell SH lawsuit against Justin Baldoni. He says, I'm not going to speculate as to Miss Lively's motivations for mentioning me in the complaint. Needless to say, my experience working with her is very different than the one she described in her lawsuit. That's interesting. And of course, he played Doctor Dunbar in the now very popular and very scandalous movie that we've been watching so far. Okay, or that everybody has seen. We're not watching it right now, but you get what I'm saying. Moving on. Indeed, I was surprised to read her description of the scene. And here's Adam. Right here as we speak, actor Adam Mondschein, just doing his thug thizzle, living his life. Okay, we already know who Blake Lively is. Okay, so she says, apparently Lively alleged in her initial complaint and the amended version filed in February, both which page 6 obtained, that she was quote unquote disturbed by many of Baldoni's actions on set, including quote unquote new scenes he chose to have in the film, such as a volatile birthing scene for which he cast his friend as her OBGYN. She also claimed in the suit that the It Ends With Us director, we already know Justin Baldoni, or it's actually her, but never mind. On paper, he's the director. Okay. Justin Baldoni, quote unquote, introduced his best friend to play the role of the OBGYN, when ordinarily a small role of this nature would be filled by a local actor. Interesting, right? Why not just give the small role to a friend? Why does it have to be a local actor? Why not just go, yo, my buddy, you know what I mean? Like, shoot, Adam Sandler does it all the time, baby. He puts all his friends in every single damn movie he does. Check out all the movies he's done. Okay, every single one for the most part that is produced by Adam Sandler. He always has one of his friends in there going, you can do it, or whatever the hell it is. You know what I'm saying? Take a look. You'll see what I'm talking about. So, moving on, Miss Lively felt that the selection of Baldoni's friends for this intimate role, in which the actor's face and hands were in close proximity to her nearly nude genitalia for the birthing scene, was invasive and humiliating. But wouldn't a local actor be all up in her guts too, or all up in the vicinity of her guts too? I'm just saying, make that make sense. Now, of course, these are some of the shots. I'm sure if the situation, I don't know what the situation was on set, okay? But I'm sure they probably threw a cloth over her legs, or like in between her legs to cover her whatnot and all that stuff, right? At least I would assume that, right? I would assume that. And of course, this is the scene with Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively, and then, this is like the breakup scene, if that makes any sense, okay? So the actor Adam Mondschein, okay, whose character helped deliver Lively's character's baby in the aforementioned pivotal hospital scene, maintains that everything that occurred when they filmed was above board. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. In response to her claims that she was nearly in her birthday suit, nearly nude, he alleges her costume included a full hospital gown, black shorts, and a torso covering prosthetic to make her appear pregnant, in addition to whatever personal garments she chose. So like I said, there's like layers. There's layers to this thing, baby, when delivering this baby. So what the hell's going on here, right? Mondschein further claims that the Gossip Girl alum never complained or expressed discomfort at any point because nothing unusual or improper occurred. It was entirely professional. So what do you say? What say her on that? Because she goes out here and saying he made the whole situation uncomfortable, weird, and then some. And then this actor, he was so good, he was so convincing, I'm calling him a doctor. This actor, Adam Mondschein, is basically saying, no, that did not happen. She had prosthetic on, a torso covering prosthetic that covered her. She had black shorts on, yo. She had a full hospital gown. The full hospital gown, I get it, because her, you could still see things because her legs are up, right? They're in those stirrups or whatever the hell they were using for the birthing scene, right? Okay, so you got that. But the big dead giveaway for me is the black shorts, y'all. So it's not like her hoo-ha was out here, okay? Out here for everyone to see. She was not, allegedly from Adam's point of view, she was not in her birthday suit, okay, at all. In other words, she was not Winnie the Pooh in it. If you get what I'm saying, she has a shirt on top, but nothing on the bottom. She was not Winnie the Poohing it, okay? So that is very interesting nonetheless. And those claims can come back and bite her in the boo-hoo-tee, especially when you have an eyewitness, a very close eyewitness, that saw everything going on betwixt them legs. Let's go on. The thespian, okay, who on IMDb boasts a list of at least 10 acting credits prior to his appearance in It Ends With Us, a master's in fine arts, blah, blah, blah. Okay. He says he takes no offense, or he takes offense, to Lively's implications in her lawsuit that he was not qualified for the OBGYN role. I mean, my Lord, how can you sit there and say that he is not fit or qualified to play the doctor role? Do you know how many? Have you seen a Tyler Perry movie? Have you seen the Tyler Perry movie? I'm just saying, a lot of them, they ain't prepared. They ain't even prepared. You know, it's called acting, guys. Okay, all jokes aside, it's called acting for a reason, y'all. It's called acting. That's it. You don't need a local actor to play that part. He's literally needing to know his lines, say them, and cheer you on as you fake pushing a baby out into the world. Literally. How is he not fit to play the role? That's interesting to me. You know what I mean? Especially when he's like, he's probably like, I played Hamlet 17 times. You know what I'm saying? So if he's a good actor, he should be able to play a doctor. Just like he should be able to play the best friend, the firefighter. You know what I'm saying? If it's like, oh, you want me to act like you want me to become a human-sized cat? I can do it. You know what I mean? I'm an actor, right? Because it's acting, is it not? Miss Lively's insinuations regarding my qualifications are offensive, as my bona fides are easily searchable online. See, he's done some Shakespeare in his life. As my bona fides. Lastly, I was, in fact, a local hire. My wife and I are from New York and spend significant time there. As such, I, like any actor accepting that contract, was required to cover my own travel and living expenses in connection with the job. So, yeah, he may have gotten a little bit of change for his day job, like his work as a day worker or whatever it's called. You know what I mean? Okay. He came in, he did the job, and he left. He had to pay to be there. He had to pay to fly out there, stay in a hotel and all that stuff to be there to do the job. Okay. So he's sitting there going like, I didn't get any special treatment. I came in, I did my job. Sure, I probably got paid a little bit, just probably a day's salary, right? A day rate as a day actor, and I moved the F on, right? So Lively's rep declined to comment, but pointed to the actress's previous claims in her suit, in which she described the set during the birth scene as chaotic, crowded, and utterly lacking in standard industry protections for filming nude scenes. What's interesting, though, is isn't birthing like sometimes when it comes to giving birth, it is kind of chaotic in there, right? There's a lot of nervousness. There's a lot of, you know what I'm saying? So maybe it was just the energy in the room because, of course, you are acting like you are giving birth to your very first baby. So, of course, there may be a little bit of excitement, nervousness, anxiety, etc., all of that in there while people are in the scene. So maybe what she was vibing from was the vibe in the room in general, because you're acting like you're giving birth to your very first baby. You know what I'm saying? But moving on. All right. So Mr. Jamie Heath and Mr. Baldoni also failed to close the set, allowing non-essential crew to pass through, while Miss Lively was partially nude from below the chest down, with her legs spread wide in stirrups and only a piece of fabric covering her genitalia. When we hear that Adam just said she was wearing shorts and she had a prosthetic that showed that, that was to show off that she had a pregnant belly and she had a hospital gown on top of all that. But more important, black shorts. Okay. Contrary to Wayfarer Party's contention, the production did not maintain a closed set. Miss Lively was not provided with with anything with which to cover herself between takes after she had made multiple requests. Mondschein, all right. Meanwhile, adds that I guess Baldoni's lawyers should call him to the witness stand, in the upcoming March 2026 trial. He is willing to do so. Should they call him, he is willing to do so, okay? If I'm called to testify in the case, I will answer truthfully and more freely whatever is asked of me with all the legal protection that affords. In particular, by noting that Miss Lively was not nearly nude in the scene we shot together. Yeah, in particular, he's like, nah, What she's saying is not the truth. She is lying. Period. Point break. Period. Point blank. Okay. That is a very, very big situation. So again, all right. Of course, we already know that that he is not the first one to poke holes in this whole situation, as far as this goes. But to be really honest, he's one of the first actors to actually speak out and say she is straight up lying. Again, that is huge. And this could be very damning for Blake Lively. Again, for her to sit there and say, oh, one, you didn't use a local actor. Two, he was all up in my stuff, in between my legs in a very uncomfortable and weird way. And I was in my birthday suit and all that stuff from the waist down. I was Winnie the Pooh in it. But you got this guy all up in my hoo-ha, or at least in the general vicinity of my hoo-ha. And that was very odd. You made this set very uncomfortable and strange, and I did not like it. And now we're hearing from one of the guys that was actually in the scene in between her legs, and he is actually saying that is not true. She was wearing black shorts. She had prosthetics on, and a prosthetic for the pregnant belly, and a gown. So what's up? So again, for him to sit here and say, oh, please ask me to come and testify, because I will make sure everything is very clear. The set was fine. Nothing was uncomfortable. We did the job. I did my job, and we kept it moving. That is very, very interesting. Again, another piece of information that looks very bad for Blake Lively. But I'm going to tell you this, though. I still would love to see the dailies, right? The takes of that actual scene. What were the scenes like, right? Because not only just what was on the silver screen, not only just the things that ended up in the final cut of the movie. I'm very interested in just seeing all the raw footage from the movie, especially in this particular scene. Because again, we're hearing his take on it. He could very well be telling the truth, and I believe he is telling the truth. But also, I feel like seeing the raw footage would clarify a whole lot more stuff, because then we could see, oh, look at that. She is wearing black shorts in all these takes. What is she talking about? And so on. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Where do you stand on this? This is just very interesting, guys. It's a very interesting indeed. So we'll see how this all goes down, as it continues to press forward. This is going to be very interesting. Anyway, guys, it's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.